and welcome to Geeky Girls Knit. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Damaris, also known as Damaris Dash a Bit Weird.
This is episode 17. Today is December the 19th, so this will be our last episode before the holiday, which is in less than a week. Yep.
6 days. Colin Baker days.
She's been doing a countdown
Using the doctors
from Doctor Who. So, well, we're glad to have you here today. We welcome any new viewers and welcome back all of our returning viewers. We appreciate your support as we continue this journey. And I think we're ready to get started, so here we go. Alrighty, it's time for On the Needles. I have nothing to show you. I actually do have something on the needles, but it's a secret project, so I can't show you. It's almost done, though. It's about...
Spoilers.
Exactly, spoilers. It's about 75% done, so hopefully I'll finish it in the next few days. I do have some finished projects to show you in a little bit, though. But I thought I would show you what was coming with me. What was coming with me? What is coming with me?
What will be?
What will be coming with me to...
A lesson in tenses.
Not Timmons? No. Okay. David Timmons? No. I thought I would show you what I'm taking with me to New Mexico for the holiday, because I know I'm going to work on socks while I'm gone, because it's a fairly easy project and it's not a lot of stuff to carry with me, but I can't decide what socks I want to work on. So I have some options. So I have this leftover yarn from a Junction Lethal shawl knit along, the Bittersweet.
It's brown.
It's brown. Panda Superwash. I have a full skein plus part of another skein left of it. And I also have
quite a bit
left of, this is the Knit One Crochet 2 Crocodile in...
Candy.
Is it candy?
Candy something. Or just candy.
It doesn't say on here. It just has a color number.
Does it say 221?
No, it doesn't say 221. It says 271. We've discussed this before. But I had an idea for a pair of socks that kind of mimics the chain pattern from the Junction Mystery Shawl Knit Along. So I might work on that. I have a lot of leftover yarn from other socks I've done. So I have, this is Vice yarn.
Amazingly Amy.
In the Amazingly Amy, it's pinks and...
Not Pond.
No, not Pond. It's pinks and reds, and then I have some left over from my socks from the Ravelinix games. These are both Regia, I don't know what colors. I've got that, plus another skein just like that, and then also this one's it's pinks and oranges and greens. So I thought I might do some like mix match, like the heels and toes and cuffs one yarn and the foot and the leg in another yarn. Or I might just decide to just start with something fresh. I got these two skeins of sock yarn. This bag doesn't want to open. In a swap. They're both Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. This one is the Summer Blooms Tonal.
It's pinks.
It's all different shades of pinks. And then this one is Dolly Hand Painted.
It's pinks and purples.
It's a brighter pinks and purples. So I have both of those skeins.
You can mix and match those.
Well, I'll probably have left over because there's 462 yards. So I'll probably have enough left over. But I'm thinking about doing a couple of new design patterns using these. So we'll just see what I decide to work on. I use the same size needle for all my socks, so I only have to take one pair of needles. So that's what's about to be on my needles. Something out of that bag. What's on your needles, Mare?
A headband that's not a headband yet. It's just that.
So you ripped it out
Twice. I ripped everything out twice.
Okay, so in this pattern, which is the Starstruck headband, it called for you to slip the first stitch of every row, but it made it look funny on the edges.
Yes, when I was slipping stitches purl-wise, it made it all like loose.
So I suggest.
But when I did it knit-wise, it looked better. So I tried doing all the slips knit-wise, but that made it look even weirder.
Yeah, so I suggested she just ignore the slipping stitches and just knit it, and I think it's going to turn out just fine this way. This is the leftover yarn. What is it?
Pagewood Farm Swagger Lie Army Girl.
Yes. And you're on size 7s?
Yes.
Size 7's 4.5 millimeters. So this is supposed to be a gift.
For someone.
For someone.
Spoilers. Yeah.
We've been watching a lot of Doctor Who. We'll get to that in a minute. But you probably will get most of it done in the car while we're traveling. And it's a small enough project that it won't be difficult to work with. So that's what's on our needles or about to be on our needles. What's going to be on your needles next?
Hopefully my sweater.
But if not?
Socks.
Socks. So maybe you should take the socks with you just in case you finish that and want something to work on while we're gone. Alrighty. We ready to move on?
Yep.
Alright.
Now we're going to talk about our finished objects, of which I have none.
It's been a bitty.
Again.
It's been a bitty school week.
It's a bitty.
It's a bitty. It is smaller than normal because you're only doing school 4 days this week. She's had a busy school week finishing up the not really semester, but just kind of finishing up stuff before the holidays. So she hasn't had a whole lot of time to knit. So, but hopefully you'll get quite a bit done over the break. All right, I have a couple of finished objects to show you. This first one is something I just cast on the needles, I don't know, a few days ago, and was just trying something out. So I think I did it on US 5s, which I think is 3.75 millimeters, and this is just scrap yarn red. Okay, so what does it look like, Mare?
It's a tie that is cool. It's cool.
So what I was going for was a bow tie like the doctor's. And this is about...
His is more burgundy, but we don't have any burgundy yarn.
And I wasn't going to buy some just for trying something out. This is probably about 3.5 inches wide. And what I'm going to do is put a jewelry thing on it and make it be a necklace for a friend who likes Doctor Who. I may have to make Damaris one now.
But with yarn, because we don't have any more to make another one. It won't stay!
No. So I'm just going to put like a little loop thing. I don't know if I'll put it there or if I'll put like maybe 2 of them or something and put it on a necklace.
Maybe you could do one on each side there and make it like hang down more.
Well, but if I do that, it'll make it, the necklace will be real stretched out wide.
Yeah, but if you get a long chain, that won't be a problem.
So I guess it depends on what size chain I get. So this was just I whipped this out in like 30 minutes. It was all just, I just cast on like...
You should write down the pattern.
I really should. I probably will if I make another one. I think I cast on about 50 stitches and then joined it in the round and then just knit, I don't know, about a dozen or so rows and then cast off loosely. And then I cast on like 6 stitches and knit about 12 rows and then folded this piece, the center piece over and stitched it closed on the back to pull it in together. So, my other finished object is going to be kind of hard to show you. I will try to take a picture after a while to post on Ravelry and on the blog. My All the Shades of Truth is done. And it's massive. I think Damaris and I could wrap up in it. Okay, I'm going to move the microphone back for a second so I don't hit it. This was done on US 7s, 4.5 millimeters in perfection in the Sprout, Fluff, Butterfly, Bloom, and Valentine colorway.
I can't go any further.
So there's kind of all the colors. It's big. I think actually that this is going to live in the car and kind of be a car Afghan kind of thing because it turned out so much bigger than I expected. It's about as wide across as I am. And then it will wrap around me. When I wrap it around me once, it reaches down like past my knees. So it is huge. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I just smacked Damaris. So, it is finished. My goal was to finish it by Christmas, and I did. I will take a picture, though, and post so that you can kind of see what it looks like big, because I know it's hard to see. Just me holding it up here in front of the camera. And that's our finished stuff for this week.
Yep.
She's concentrating really hard on this stitch. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next segment. All right. It's time for that part of the show that's my absolute favorite. Yummies. These are our current, favorite things that make us happy, new things in our life. So I have a couple of things to show you, and then we're going to talk about a couple of things that we've done together. So my iPhone case, it was one that had a bar across the bottom here, and it cracked. You're making the whole camera thing shake. And so I wanted to get a new one, and I kept looking around trying to find something that was knitting related, because I was like, oh, that'd be really cool. But the stuff I could find was either hand knitted cases, which I just dropped all the shades of truth in the floor. Oops.
I just dropped all the shades of truth on the floor. Oh no!
Where's the doctor when you need him? Okay, so all I could find was either stuff that was just like a hand knit cozy type thing, which I could make myself, or there was the only knitting ones I found were kind of dorky in my opinion. They just didn't interest me. And then I just happened to run across this one, and it originally said something different, and the store owner on Etsy, what's the name of her store? Case Hive. I'll link it in the show notes. She had one, and it was knitting related, but I didn't like the wording on it, so I sent her a message and said, hey, could it say this instead? And 5 minutes later, she already had sent me a proof. So I was very pleased with her customer service and very fast shipping. So this is my new case. Keep calm and knit on, with the crown and knitting needles at the top. And the chevrons are shades of pink. Our timer, my Kindle was about to die. Which has our timer that tells us how long we've been talking. It's got shades of pink and purple and brown and tan. That's a little better to see the colors. And the text is all in white. And I love it, and it was very reasonably priced. And so this is my new favorite. It came this week. Keep calm and knit on. Another yummy for this week. I went to knit night last night. Damaris didn't go. She ended up running some errands with Russ. But about once a month, once every 2 months, we play a game at the yarn shop on Tuesday nights called Last Knitter Standing. And it's it's got questions about knitting related topics. It also has challenges in it, and we play for an hour, and if you get a question right or pass a challenge, you get to knit a certain number of rows on your piece. You cast on 10 stitches and knit a couple rows to start, and then whoever has the most rows at the end wins. You can steal other people's knitting, which I had happen to me twice last night. But the store owner gave us all a prize because there was just a few of us playing last night. So, all right, hopefully our technical difficulties are better. The camera started going wonky for a minute, so. So anyway, I got this book last night at the yarn shop, Sock Yarn One Skein Wonders, and it's 101 patterns, and it's all of the patterns can be done with one skein of sock yarn. So there are some sock patterns in it, but there's lots of fingerless glove patterns. There's some hat patterns. There are some baby sweaters. There's a teapot cozy. Some jewelry, some bags. Just lots of really cute stuff. Some shawlettes, some shawls. So I'm excited to really kind of look through this book and find some stuff I can do. So, yay for new patterns. All right. What about you? What have we done yummy this week?
We went to see The Hobbit.
Yay! Okay, so if you don't want to be spoiled about The Hobbit, we're going to talk about The Hobbit for a little bit. I don't think we're going to really divulge anything that's...
We're just going to talk about awesome people that were in it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to divulge anything major, especially if you've read the book. But if you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to fast forward just a little bit. So we went opening day. Mm-hmm. It was really long.
2 hours and 49 minutes.
No, more than that. It was 250 something, wasn't it?
Well, that's how long the movie was. But that's not counting the previews and everything.
Yeah, so we were in there for over 3 hours. Hope we're working again now. So we're talking about The Hobbit. It was long. We were in the theater for a little over 3 hours. But I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So what was your favorite part?
The part with the hedgehogs.
She told me she wants a real baby hedgehog now.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I want a hedgehog. I want a sledge pulled by rabbits.
Yes, that part was pretty funny. I think it was really, really pretty true to the book.
I saw in an interview that Peter Jackson pulled information from The Lord of the Rings about what happened in The Hobbit to put in the movies.
That's interesting.
So that's why it's longer.
Yeah, because it's going to be 3 full movies. One next year and one the year after. Martin Freeman did an amazing job. We applaud you, Martin Freeman.
And we saw Benedict Cumberbatch for 5 seconds.
Yes. Just enough to tease us.
Mm-hmm.
But he got to be in the credits.
He was in the credits. He got to be in the main part of the credits.
Yeah, I know. So his part of the will come a lot more in the second movie. So
the dragon. He gets to be the voice of the dragon.
So we really enjoyed it. It was really loud. I plugged my ears during parts of it because it was so loud. But I think it was worth seeing in the theater to be able to see it. We did not see it in 3D. That gives me really bad headaches, so we did not do that. We just saw it in normal thing. The troll thingies at the end really creeped me out. What were they called?
The orcs?
The orcs.
Wait, do you mean the orcs or the trolls?
Down in the caverns.
I think those were trolls.
Okay, so the trolls, they creeped me out. They were really pretty gross. Where Gollum was down there too. They were creepy.
My precious. Strokes, sweet bets. Yes.
So, we enjoyed it. We highly recommend it. Go see it. Yay, Martin. Yay, yay, Benedict. Can't wait to see. That it was just enough to make me want Sherlock back even sooner.
And it doesn't start filming until March now.
Curses.
I think they're trying to make us wait 3 years like John Watson had to wait for Sherlock to come back in the canon.
That's not fair.
I know.
That is not fair, BBC. Bring back Sherlock. Bring back Sherlock.
What if all the fans marched in there with torches and pitchforks? Then what would they do?
Probably call the police.
But what if all the fans? Seriously, the fandom is very large.
That's kind of
What
scary.
if all the fans walked into BBC HQ with torches and pitchforks?
They'd call the police.
I don't think there would be enough police.
I don't know.
Because it's over 1 million fans.
Yeah, there are a lot of fans of Sherlock. We also watched a lot of Doctor Who this week. We're all the way into Series 7 now, me having watched from the beginning in just like the last 3 weeks. We've watched a lot of Doctor Who. The new Doctor's growing on me.
He had me at Geronimo.
I don't know, I still really like David Tennant a lot. A lot. We rewatched The End of Time.
She cried.
I cried a lot. A lot.
I had that feeling where you're just so sad you can't cry.
It was so sad. So we are up to... We just watched A Town Called Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next?
The Power of Three.
And
A Town Called Mercy gave me all the feelings.
It was a good episode. So we've got The Power of Three and then Angels Take Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And the new episode next week.
She will cry when the Angels Take Manhattan. I will cry.
I've already seen it and I cried because I watched it with...
What? I forgot what I was going to say. I'll think about it.
I watched it with Damaris and Russ before I started watching Doctor Who.
Oh, maybe we'll get to watch it today.
Maybe so. We'll see what happens. Alright, do you have anything else yummy you want to talk about? We're about to get to listen to a lot of Cabin Pressure.
Yes. We're almost done with it. We're on Series 3.
I think we should start at the beginning of Series 3 again, since we have so much time on the drive.
Yes, and we have to listen to Malachi again, because that's the Christmas episode.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that on our drive to New Mexico. I think that's about it for Yummies.
And now we're going to talk about what books we're reading and what TV we're watching.
What you reading?
Warhorse by Michael Morpurgo.
You're to the end of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
What are you going to read next? We probably need to request something from the library.
Yes.
Yes. However, you should be getting your Christmas gift soon. And you can read on it. She knows what she's getting for Christmas.
Oh, I thought you were talking like a book. Well, you get the kids' books. So what books did I get?
A Kindle.
Oh. I know what book I want. Sherlock the Case book. I want that book.
You told me about that, and I forgot to look about it. But yes. She's getting a Kindle for Christmas.
Whoa.
A hand-me-down Kindle.
It shows GIFs. My GIFs won't show on my phone. They show on the Kindle.
Yes. So I'm upgrading to the Kindle HD with the video camera in it.
Ooh, fancy.
Fancy schmancy. And Damaris is getting my Kindle. And we talked about this ahead of time, and she was cool with it, so.
It's cool.
We're all cool. So she's excited about her new Kindle coming.
It shows GIFs.
It's a Kindle Fire. I have a Kindle Fire, and then I'm just going to upgrade to the HD one, so. I just downloaded through the Kindle Lending Library a book called Yesterday's Gone, Season 1. Apparently they write this serially, so there's like 6 episodes. It's a a post-apocalyptic book.
So it happens after Friday.
Yes, it happens after Friday, after the Alpacalypse.
I'm still going to live tweet the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Basically, end of the world.
And I feel fine?
No, the master said that. He said, so, basically, end of the world.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
No, he didn't play that song. He played
And
Voodoo
I
Child by the
feel
Rogue
fine.
Traders.
Anyway, the book I'm going to read is by Sean Platt and David Wright. And I think there's at least 3 seasons to it. So I'll download the second season in January because I can get a new book every month through the lending library. So I downloaded that to read while we're on our trip. All right, well, we had a lot of mid-season finales this week on TV. So Arrow was on last Wednesday night, episode 1.9, Year's End. It was kind of apropos since it is close to the year's end. And John Barrowman, he is evil. He is. He's evil in Arrow. He is so bad.
But he's not in real life. You just want to give him a hug.
Yes. So he plays,
someone evil.
Yeah, I can't remember what his character's name is. Anyway, he's the other archer that has been killing people. So, and it was revealed in last Wednesday night's episode that he is the other archer. I even wrote evil. He is evil. Evil.
But not in real life.
What else did we find out? We found out that the island that Oliver was on for 5 years was actually a prison. I think a Chinese prison. Which explains why the other guy was on there that we saw, the Chinese guy. What else? Okay, Oliver's stepdad was kidnapped by Barrowman. And we also found out in the episode that Oliver's mom knew that Barrowman killed her husband, Oliver's dad, and she let Barrowman kidnap Oliver.
Barrowman! I should find the GIF for that. There's a GIF where David Tennant's going like, Barrowman!
So Arrow will be back on January the 16th, so we have a few weeks off before we find out what happens next. They're looking for who compiled the list that Oliver thought his dad was the one that had compiled it, but apparently it was not his dad. So the green arrow is after whoever compiled the list. All right.
I can make the slanted face. I can make the slanted face. I can also do capital D.
Oh, forgive my poor child. She's ready for a school break. Person of interest. This was episode 2.10, Shadowbox. So the big thing that happened in this episode is John was was arrested by the FBI. At the end of the episode, they were trying to track down the man in the suit, which is John. And they get super involved with the sister of a soldier and another soldier who found out that this charity who was supposed to be helping soldiers get low-cost loans to buy houses was actually stealing the money and foreclosing on the houses of the soldiers and such. So they were going to try to get the money back. And John got so caught up in it that he couldn't get out. And so he was arrested by the FBI. So that's kind of where they left it off at. The next episode will be January 3rd. So we just have about a 2-week break before it comes back. Mm-hmm. Elementary will also be back on January 3rd. We watched episode 1.10, The Leviathan, which was the name of the safe. So what'd you think about that episode?
I liked it.
So, there was a lot of science. There was some sciencey stuff in it with the
Science!
we like science with the guy who was the murderer. The blood that was left at the crime scene by him did not match his DNA because he had had a bone marrow transplant, and so it showed the DNA of the donor.
Science!
So that was kind of interesting. I didn't realize that would happen, but apparently that's what happens when you have a transplant. Your blood takes on the donor DNA after a bone marrow transplant. So that was kind of interesting. Sherlock really stood up for Joan in this episode with her family. He told them that she rebuilds lives from the ground up. I thought that was so sweet.
He said he didn't mean it, but he did.
He did. Feelings.
He did. This is what feels looks like. Okay, this is what feels looks like.
Oh, ouch.
That's what it looks like.
Did you have feels watching Sherlock?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I think this was kind of laying the groundwork for Joan to stay with Sherlock even after the contract's up. So I think that's kind of where they were going with this. And we got the iconic Sherlock quote in this episode. When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must in fact be true. So we got that.
You know, Spock said that in the 2009 Star Trek movie, and then in BBC's Sherlock said it in The Hounds of Baskerville. So that must mean he got it from the Star Trek movie.
No.
Yes.
No. Fringe was off its rocker weird this week. Episode 5.9, the episode was Black Blotter, and there will be a new one on Friday this week. So the radio that they found finally started transmitting, and it was a code, so they were able to track down where it was transmitted from, and they didn't find Donald, that's who they expected to find. As the one that was transmitting, but in fact it was the child observer and a couple that were caring for him. Okay, so there was supposed to be a password in the transmission code, but they weren't able to decipher the code, and so Walter is trying to remember the code, and he goes into this like dream state. He had taken drugs, and it was this like whole animated cartoon dream state, bizarre, crazy thing. But he remembered the password, and they were able to, they took the child observer back home, back to the lab with them, and he remembers Olivia from the other timeline, and they talked about briefly that the observers experience time differently than humans do. So we'll have a new episode Friday this week. Last thing we watched, Damaris only caught part of it, we'll have to rewatch it so she can see it, was the Christmas NCIS episode 10.10, You'd Better Watch Out. And the crime they were solving had to do with stolen money from the Bureau of Engraving. And them going through finding that, but really the big story was about Tony and his dad, and they end up fighting. Tony's dad came for Christmas, and they end up fighting. What are you doing? I did not give her sugar, I promise. They're fighting, and Tony sends his dad away after they fight, and he ends up coming back and giving Tony a family heirloom ring, a signet ring that was supposed to be passed from father to son, and when it was Tony's turn to get it, his father didn't give it to him, and Tony assumed that he had sold it to get money, but finally all these years later his dad gave it to him, and they kind of they reconnect. Gibbs and Abby bring his dad back, and they all watch It's a Wonderful Life in MTAC. So it was a sweet the room that has the big screens. So it was a real sweet episode for Christmas, and NCIS will be back in January. That is TV and books for this week. Yes? All right. All right, it's trivia time. So, Damaris is going to read the question from last week.
Oh. Okay, so the quote from last week. So, supposed to name the show, episode, and who said this. Okay, come on, we're boys, and you know what boys say in the face of danger.
What?
Mummy.
So who said it?
Okay, the doctor said the majority of the quote, and Child Kazran said the what. And it was from Doctor Who, A Christmas Carol, the 2010 Christmas special.
And we had 4 people get it right this week. 4 Peanuts, Enid, Dart Frog 911, and Jordy Bear 614. So they all got an entry into our trivia giveaway. The question for today is the last question before we do the giveaway. So I'll read it to you in a second, but if you know the answer, email us or send me a private message on Ravelry. And then next Wednesday when we record the episode, we will draw the winner. So this is your last chance to enter. So here is the question for this week. We want you to name the movie and who says this quote. Folks, I have an announcement.
An announcement?
An announcement. And I want you all to be the first to know. I don't know whether the best things happen while you're dancing or whether they just happen in Vermont. Should we give them a hint?
Sure.
It's a Christmas movie. All right, here's the quote one more time. Folks, I have an announcement to make.
An announcement?
An announcement, and I want you all to be the first to know. I don't know whether the best things happen while you're dancing or if they just happen in Vermont. So if you know the answer, let us know, and we will draw for the winner next week. All right, we made it through episode 17. We apologize for the technical glitches. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I think we were able to piece together things well enough that it won't be too bad. We caught it pretty quick when it started messing up. That's a wrap for episode 17, the last episode before Christmas. So for everyone who celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever holiday that you are celebrating. We hope that you have a wonderful time with family and friends and that it's just an amazing ending to
the world.
No, the Alpacalypse happens before Christmas. Before Christmas. So by this time we'll know whether the Alpacalypse happened or not.
These guys have got their facts all wrong because the world won't end on Friday. It'll end in the year 5 billion because the doctor showed it to Rose on their first date. Gosh!
Anyway, we hope you have a great time with family and friends and that your holiday is wonderful. You can catch us online. Our website is geekygirlsknit.blogspot.com. That has links to everywhere else. Blip TV, you need to quit yawning. She's been yawning. Blip TV, YouTube, iTunes, Twitter, Facebook, Ravelry, etc., etc. Find us online. Connect with us. We love talking with you. And we will be back next week with a jam-packed full episode where we get to discuss
The Snowmen,
the new Doctor Who episode.
And the new console. But are they changing his screwdriver? That is the question.
That is the question. And we'll talk about our holidays and hopefully have some interesting knitting to show you. Have a great holiday season, and we will talk to you next week. Happy knitting. Peace.